welcome to Don Bosco Vibes. My name's Victoire Chilufia, and in the studios I'm not alone, but I'm joined by the lovely Don Bosco Vibes. Good morning.
Morning.
Morning. Morning.
I can't hear the vibes.
Morning, how are you?
Fine, how are you?
Okay, thank you.
Okay, it's good to be back after a long holiday, we should say. I'm so excited with the topic that we are looking at today, and this topic is safe, healthy homes. So, what is a home?
Well, a home can be defined in different ways. However, when people living in their house, there's a difference when you say that's a house and that's a home, okay? So when you're talking about a home, we're talking about a group of people that live in one environment, one house, okay? It can be parents living with their children, it can be extended families, okay? Now what makes it to be called a home? The relationship that is built between the people that are living in the house. So when you're defining a home, you should always remember to note the kind of relationship that is there within the family, okay? Because most of the time you say, that's my home. How do you define it to be your home? Is there peace in your home? What kind of relationship do you have with your children? It can be your children, sometimes it can also be your dependents. What kind of relationship that do you have with them? So the relationship that you have with the people that you live with makes it a beautiful home. Yeah.
There's a famous saying which says, home is where your heart is.
Yeah.
Yeah, so in maybe simple terms, a home can be defined as where one feels a sense of belonging, where you feel you are emotionally attached to this particular group of people.
Yes.
So it cannot be a building, so to say, but just like Pauline said, the relationship, the connection that you may have created with a particular group of people. So yeah, even this place for me is my home because I feel part of it. There's this sense of belonging, and such that when I was away, I felt something was missing. I'm glad I'm back.
Welcome back.
Thank you.
Welcome home. Welcome home. So there's also a famous saying to say there's no place like home.
Yeah.
So between parents and children, who should provide an environment for a safe, healthy home? Edward.
A child is somebody who's between the process of development and puberty, and a parent is a caregiver. So by these two definitions, you already know who's supposed to provide a safe and a safe home, you know. And by law, we can say, you know, children have rights by law. You know, they have the right to safety, they have the right to be treated with affection, they have the right to education, the right, you know, to medical care, and to be protected against cruelty and abuse.
Is a healthy home defined by how clean the house is, and people looking at it, the moral character of people in that home. Francis.
A home must, number one, it has to be habitable. That people, it must be safe for everyone who's living in it, regardless of it being a mansion or a two-bedroom or even a one-roomed house. But it has to be habitable for human. Yeah, so that is an aspect of safety. But apart from that, there's this aspect of when people say that is a good family, they don't mainly look at the building, but they look at the moral aspect of the family. So it's very important to also look at that aspect of the home, that people will be, the moment people say they don't look at maybe what you eat, they are looking at the characters in your home. So they look at the moral aspect, how you've been brought up, the beliefs of that family, And then maybe the goals of a family, people will go to that extent to say, okay, this family, what do they intend to become in the next 5 years or so? So if you don't take care of those things, then it becomes a problem. So safety, the environment in the European world, they look at even the food that the kids eat.
Yes.
They will pay attention to those details. They look at of what health benefit is this food that I'm giving to my kids have. And then the water that you take. Here in Africa, we've paid not much attention to the water aspect in terms of there's lead contamination in some waters that we take. But here we just take certain things. And then you know what lead does to the brain. Yeah, so these are some of the aspects that we need to look at in terms of having safety measures as a home.
Very, very true. So a home should be a home where a child is able to feel free and be able to express herself.
Yeah.
So I think gone are the days where parents would wait for an auntie to come through and be able to spend time with your children, but be the one to spend time with your child and be able to talk to that child. So this comes to you, Elizabeth. What is the purpose of spending time as a family? Nowadays, children are saying to say social media has just grabbed off or lopped off our parents, you know? Yes, Elizabeth.
I think the main purpose of spending time with family is that first, it will build the confidence within the members of the family, because there are certain issues that families don't talk about, like Mr. Francis and Pauline has just alluded. So you find that children, they are having that fear of saying something to their parents, or because they never had time to spend. So to say, I would say a healthy home, it's not only a house that looks good, or maybe a house that has got healthy food in it, but there's also need of parents spending time with their children, because those memories that they're creating as they're spending time with their children, or maybe as a family, you know, they'll have that eagerness to say we'll be better parents in future, because just that simple memory, or maybe if you take your children out, or maybe they were fighting, then you come in between and tell them to say, you know what, you're a brother, or maybe you're a sister and brother, you don't have to fight. Brothers and sisters, they live like this. And then when it just comes up, they have a family already, they'll be like, oh, our parents, they used to come in between us, they never used to favor anyone, they'll just tell us to say a brother and a sister, they live like this and they love each other. So those memories that they create as in when they're spending time with the family, it makes them have a stronger bond, so that wherever they go, they won't feel out of place, because they know that the love is already coming from the family.
Yes, let me speak as a vibe always now.
Yes, please.
Yeah, from what Elizabeth has been sharing, I've seen it in my home, because there are times I'm from work, I've had a tough time at work, and then my son comes up and says, "Daddy, welcome." He hugs me and then tells me, "Do you want to water?"
Wow.
So that in itself is more calming. Yeah, so it is these small things that we create in homes, that if your son is to marry, they will look at what you were doing as a parent. So it's very important. I always tell my wife, if we are to, we've had issues, but we don't quarrel in the presence of our son. The reason is simple, because there was one point he even asked me to say, "Do you even quarrel with mom?" He doesn't see it. The moment he's going to see us quarrel, he will take it as a normal thing. Okay. And these are the kids that grow up knowing that when you beat your wife, it means you love them. And then worse if that's a girl child, because they will grow up knowing, if my husband beats me, then it means they love me.
So just to add on, when you are spending quality time with your children, it should be time for you to create a bond, make certain things that will really matter. For example, if you're a woman, you are starting to spend quality time with your child. What is it that you are doing during that quality time? Is it just sitting together, you're looking at each other? Make them open up to you. Okay, you can have, I don't know how old your son is, Mr. Francis. Let's say, for instance, you're a teenager now, you have a son who is 18. They're going through a lot of things, a lot of changes, okay? You are not going to, like, there's a difference when your father calls you to say, okay, Edward, come, I want to talk to you, let's talk about this now. And when you're maybe playing FIFA and then you bring up a topic, so, okay, let's talk about this, okay? Certain things, you talk about them when you're spending that quality time. I know most of the parents nowadays, we're very much busy, okay? We are busy, we are chasing our careers, we want to do the things that we never did because maybe we got married at an early stage. Most of the time you send your children to boarding schools. Okay, fine. Now when they come back, you should create that room that your children will be fighting or longing to go home, okay? Oh, we have closed school. I'm longing to go and see my dad. I'm longing to go and see my mom. Not a situation where bana bakavalila bachitola tavaida maskulu ukenda kunyumba sinifu noenda kunyumba. You should ask yourself as a parent, why is it that my children, they don't like coming home? There should be something wrong with somewhere that you're not doing right.
Exactly.
Yes.
All right. So, Edward, from what Pauline has said, are there any difference between the modern family meeting? If there is, what are these differences?
Well, society changes with the world, and as it is now, the world is changing. You know, we have what we so call today as modern families, and the differences are there between a modern family and a traditional family per se. You know, traditional families used to grow together as a social unit. You know, you would find in the same home setting there is an uncle, auntie, grandfather, grandmother. Like Indians still do that, but most of the world they've tried to sideline themselves. You know, they've isolated themselves. You know, from the outlook. So you find that from the modern family and a traditional family, the difference is the social setting. You know, where somebody just wants to stay with their husband and their children, you know, from a distance from their siblings, their parents, and the likes, you know. So that's one of the difference. And also economic control. Nowadays, it's not only as the husband as a head of the house who's supposed to provide. Also, women have got an obligation to provide. You know, that's why. Yes.
The neck of the house.
Yes, we turn the head.
Yes.
We control the head.
So you find that now the reason why most homes or most parents have lost their children is no one is available. All of them are out there trying to, you know, provide for the children. So that's one aspect also that brings about the difference between a modern family and a traditional family.
After all is said and done, family is everything. So I'll end with a Bible verse to parents as well as the children. Ephesians chapter 6 verses 1. The Bible reads, "Children, obey your parents in the Lord, for this is right." And then there's also another aspect of this. You can read it at your own time, where the Bible says, "Parents, do not push your children to anger." So this one is the only verse that has a condition to it. Obey your parents so that your days may be added. Thank you.
All right. Thank you so much. Well, this is where we need to wrap up. So my name's Victoire Chilufe, and in the studios we were with Edward, Francis, Elizabeth, and Pauline. So next week's topic is unsafe and unhealthy homes. That is what we'll be looking at next week.